All right, what's up? Welcome back to the Hour of AI. This is the third episode. I'm way off of schedule because my work schedule is crazy. So I'm bringing you this when I can bring it to you, which is now. So tonight we're going to be talking about GPTs, gems, and custom chatbots. And so what I'm going to do tonight, what I'm going to demo, right? And just if you haven't joined us before, the mission of the Hour of AI is just to help educators explore and responsibly use AI tools. So weekly live stream or bi-weekly, something like that. Whenever I'm able to get to it, it's kind of just like a side thing that I do. So hopefully try to get it every week, but I do this just to demo, discuss, and then hopefully inspire you to go out and do creative things in your own classroom. And tonight's focus, I'm going to look at GPTs, gems, and custom chatbots. Now, what am I going to be doing with these custom chatbots? Well, the first thing I'm going to be doing with these custom chatbots is I'm going to be building some lessons. Not necessarily building some lessons, but I'm going to be, it's kind of a continuation of the advanced lesson building with the second episode. So if you haven't watched the first and second episode, go back. The first one's about Magic School. The second one is about advanced lesson building with Magic School and Google Gemini. And this one is going to be kind of addition to that. But we're going to use some feedback tools, right? So we're going to use ChatGPT plus, we're going to use Google Gemini, we're going to use Magic School, and I misspelled a couple of those, but that's all right. I did this in a hurry. And so I'm going to create an agent, chatbot. You can kind of call it either one that you want. It's going to do some agentic things for you. And so what are we creating? Well, why are we creating it? What kind of are we creating? We're creating this for grading, for feedback, and to look at a little bit of data too, how you can look at data and do this. So a couple of advanced tools. I'm going to be doing a few demos here within the lessons themselves. So here we go. We're going to head and get started. So first thing I'm going to do, open up ChatGPT, open up Google Gemini, and open up Magic School. So those are the three things I'm going to kind of be working through. And I'm going to be using some screenshots to be able to do this. So first I'm going to use Google Gemini and ChatGPT in tandem. So I'm going to split my screen where you can see both of them, and I use a series of screenshots to do this as well. I'm on my MacBook, so I'll just be using it. If I'm not on my MacBook, if I'm on Windows or a PC, I use Microsoft Edge because it just has a very quick screenshot feature on there. But I'll be using my own screenshots from my MacBook tonight. So if you're looking on the left, you got ChatGPT here, and on the right you got Google Gemini Advanced, and this is 2.5, and right now the models that I'm in 4.1. You can use whatever model you want to. It doesn't matter when we actually build the GPT, but since I'm going to be using some screenshots and stuff like that, we're going to use Google Advanced on this side. So that's what we'll be using. Be using a little bit of Google Advanced in order to help us build a GPT. So here we go. All right. So the first thing you want to do is you want to open up your side menu here, and you got all these different GPTs that I've saved. But if you go down here to explore GPTs, then you can click and you go to kind of what they call the GPT store, so to speak. So here it is, and you can see it's got some featured ones in here for writing, productivity, research, education, lifestyle, DALL-E is image, programming. Now, what can you do with GPTs? Well, think of this as like a custom agent or a custom chatbot that you can build to do a specific task for you. And you can go out and see other tools that people have built too. And when we get to Google Gems, they kind of look almost the same. GPTs are a little bit more popular. But you can pick these and basically do anything that is within the scope of their description, right? So if you look at some of these, you can see astrology, birth chart, GPT, scholar GPT, fitness coach, image generator, and you can see the ones that are made by ChatGPT or OpenAI. and you can see the tools, who they're made by, their creator names are right underneath it. So it breaks it down pretty good. But what we want to do, you can use the education ones and see. If you click on education, you'll find YouTube AI, health and medicine, AI for medical students. So there's already some that are built in that you can utilize. You just have to go through and kind of see if you like them or not. We're actually going to just build our own tonight, and so this is how we're going to do it. If you go up here, and remember, I'm using the plus version of ChatGPT, so this is a $20 a month version of. And what's really interesting you can do is, once you create with a GPT with your plus version, like if you ever discontinue your use on it and stop paying, you can still access the GPT and use the GPT, although with limit rates, but you can still do that and have no kind of issue accessing it. Now the volume that you're going to be able to use on it is going to be pretty limited. So with the plus version, you can kind of see when we build this, if you have limits on it, it's going to run out pretty quick. So here we go. We're going to build a GPT, and we're going to use Google Gemini Advanced to do this. When you click on Create GPT in the top right corner, if you didn't see me do that, I'll back up and go right there. You can see it. Hit Create, and you get a builder menu. And if you've watched me do anything before, a lot of these LLM, especially on the front end user, you get this builder menu, whether it's Microsoft Copilot, whether it's Google Gems, whether it's ChatGPT. I'm not sure about Claude. I don't use Claude as much as I use the others. But you get a builder menu. And so with this builder menu, you can do it one of two ways. You can either program this chatbot through natural language and do it like this, or you can click the configure. In the natural language, you just enter in here and it previews it on the right side. And with the configure version, it gives you an actual builder menu. And so what I like to do with, and you can do actions on here, but I'm not going to use that right now. This is just going to be a feedback tool. So we're going to create like actually we're going to do the grading one first, and we'll do a feedback one in Google Gemini. So we're going to do a grading tool, and this is going to be, let's say this is going to be an ELA or social studies. It's a written text grading. And so you just have to build a chatbot to be able to grade it in the way that you want to. So we're going to give it, look down and see, you see the name, description, instructions, conversation starters, and knowledge. You can upload files to knowledge, or you can give it these capabilities of web search, canvas mode, 4.0 generation, image generation, and code interpreter. And so we're going to create a grading first. So we don't really need the image generator. We don't need the canvas mode. We will need web search. So we'll turn those off, and when we come back, we'll build another one in it real quick. So what I usually do with this is I always start out with a screenshot. So on a Mac, I'm going to go ahead and screenshot, and I'm just going to screenshot the builder menu. So I take that screenshot, and why do I do it like this? Well, the reason that I do it like this is simply because that it just works really well. So I'm going to pull this in. This keeps me from having to tell exactly what, describe exactly what I'm doing. It's pretty easy to do this. All you do is just like, oh, yep, and drop it in, and it can see exactly what you're doing. So we drop it in, and then we're going to just prompt it, right? And so the prompt that we're going to use today is we're going to create a chatbot. And so I'm going to tell it to create a chatbot that is a grading tool that's going to be built in ChatGPT using this builder that you see in the image. And I want it to go out to Mississippi and look for informational and fictional, actually just informational writing. I guess it could be fiction writing, but informational writing that aligns with Mississippi College and career standards. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go ahead and type that in. So I'm going to say create, using this template, create a chatbot that grades my students' papers. Do not help them cheat or generate any text You are simply grading and giving it your reasons why against a rubric that you will build into the chatbot. Also, go out and find grade 6 through 8 writing standards for Mississippi to base this on. So there's my prompt. This is, give it the template. Now it's going to go through, and I'm going to move this over so you can kind of see how Gemini works. Now on this side I'm using Gemini. Like I said, I'm using these in tandem. So here it goes. It's going through 2.5. It's going to give me everything. Boom. I can export that to Sheets, which I'm going to do here in just a second. So it's developing the rubric first. I'll probably try to export it or just copy it into a, yeah, I can put it in Sheets, and then we have the template set up. All right. So here it gives me the template. Here it gives me all the instructions. So this is really just copy and paste it over. So as you can see, all of this potential gives you everything you could do, steps, blah, blah, blah. Save the rubric. All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to save this rubric. We're going to export it to Sheets. It's going to go out. It's going to create the spreadsheet for us. And if you're doing all this within Gemini, it works pretty easy. All right, we'll open the sheet and we're going to name this. And it doesn't format it that great, but we don't really need it to. We're going to name this test rubric. So we got that built. Have it now. Now we go ahead and build our bot. So we're going to name it and we'll say student paper grader. We're just going to go with what it gives us. You can customize that. This is all for the sake of time, or something like that. Then we're going to give a description, and it's important that you get all of these things in there because the descriptions and the instructions especially really dictate what the bot is going to do. And so it shouldn't have anything in there that's going to help the student. I made sure that told it not to cheat. So score, conversation starters. Don't worry about that. We'll let it figure that out itself. We're not going to upload anything. Not going to do any actions. Yeah, the file that we upload is now we're going to go out. Oh, I got to go out here. And we're just going to save this. Download it to, we'll say PDF. Doesn't really matter. Export it to a PDF. Get my stuff back in order. Export to the PDF. Boom. There it is. It drops in. And so it has everything. Now let's create. And we'll just do only me for the time being since it's just a kind of look at it. All right, so there's my GPT. We're going to view the GPT. So boom, this is what it is. You can change this picture and everything. See, it made me the builder. It gives all this stuff right here. So, and it gives me the prompt bar. Now, what are we going to do? Now, let's go out and let's create a mock paper that a middle schooler would write. Give me 3 versions. We want to say a vision of bad, good, and almost there for the chatbot to grade. And that would just where you can see how it's going to grade it against the rubric. So we go in here. Drop it in there. It's going to create mock paper, and it should give me this. And I can do this in Canvas, but I'm just going to copy them whenever they create it. It should create it in 3 different ones. So here we go. There we go. This is the bad version. So we'll title, and we're just going to drop it in there, and then we're going to let it grade. That takes it just a second. Yeah, there we go, almost there. And then there's the vision of good. All right, so now let's see, title. This one's a bad one, so let's copy this one, drop it in. You see all the feedback. There we go. Everything, strengths, areas improvement, and score needs improvement on the rubric, right? And if you look back to the rubric, we have exceeds all the way to needs improvement. So it's 1 point on this rubric. So that was the lowest one. Now let's go for the second one. Here's a vision of almost there. So this should be a little bit better. Drop it in. Here we go again. Direct feedback on it. Overall score, this piece demonstrates clear. All right, so it meets expectations. So that's your score on that one's already given us the meets expectations, goes through and gives everything based off of the rubric, right? And gives the overall strengths and areas of improvement. If you go back and look, meets expectations, so give them 3 points. So you can see if you have your own rubrics, you can just drop the rubric. The last one just to show, here's the vision of good. Vision of good, drop it in. And you can see as a teacher, if you're just going through here, you know, you could just copy and drop this in to their feedback if you're using Google Classroom or something like that once you get the bot built. But then here you go, right? This is well developed. And so exceeds expectations. There's your rubric. Pretty awesome, pretty easy. And you can make that within, I made it just now within 15 minutes, 10 minutes probably. It was like 12 minutes or so. Now we're going to do one more kind of in this same vein. So we'll go back and we're going to go to explore GPTs. And this one, we're just going to do a feedback, right? So this one, we're just going to do a feedback. So I'll move this over and I'm just going to tell Gemini, now create a feedback and AI assistant for writing and developing. Again, no cheating and no giving generated text to the student. Simply help and assist them in the writing process. So there we go. We'll go ahead and create that one. This one's a little bit different. Remember, we can give them canvas for this one because the canvas is going to let them actually go in and use this editor tool. And so the editor tool in ChatGPT, much like the one in Google Gemini that you'll see, but there you go, boom. Gives you the same thing, goes through brainstorming, outlining, align it to Mississippi, all those things, and then you can just go through and create it in this way, same way. So no real difference. Now, creating, now we're going to take it one step further. You already seen really this one is just the chatbot the same way as this previous one that we've done, but what we're going to do with the next one is we're going to take it and we're actually going to use it for data analytics, right? So if we give it just this code and data analytics, then you can go through and create an analytic tool. So we already have that one there. It's created. We can come back to it. What I'm going to do is create a data analytics tool. So think about if you're looking at your data within your own classroom or school data, either one. Now, you would never want to put student data within this if it's not anonymized. So anonymize your data before especially putting it into ChatGPT. If we build one in like Magic School, you theoretically could, but I still would not do that. Don't put student data or your own data in any of these LLMs because it's really just not worth it because of the security risks that are involved in it. But what you can do, and I'm going to demonstrate this really quick, the same way that we built the GPT previously, and I'll go back. Once you're on the GPT store in ChatGPT, click create here at the top, and you have the create or configure. We're going to configure this, but I'm going to do a data tool. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Gemini again, hey, let's create a data tool based off of Mississippi standards for writing in middle school, and that's 6th through 8th grade. And this isn't necessarily a great prompt, but like, you get the idea. Okay. After creating the tool or the bot, create an anonymized data set to analyze. Now it's going to do the same thing that we've been doing. Yo, what's up? Now it's going to do the same thing we've been doing, except we're going to create a data tool. And it's going to create us a mock data set. We're just going to take that out, and we're going to go and create a tool that a teacher will be able to drop in like a spreadsheet, and it'll break down your data pretty quickly and see like where the students' deficits are. So here we go. Here's the data extractor. So now it's creating the mock. So we'll come back to that in just a second. I just got to create it first. So you can see that it's creating just like a data set that I'm going to be able to use to break down some tools, right? Break down some stuff. And so this is all just things in writing that you can break down. All right, so let's build our bots. I'm going to drop our description in. I'm going to drop our title in. And here's our instructions that it's built for us. I could have just copied it, but it'd been difficult. Drop those instructions in. Alright, now here we go. Here's the data set. And we're going to take this data set, we're going to save it really quick. After we save it, I think Google Gemini does that sometimes. Let's make it in a, take off canvas, make the data set and Excel/sheets file. Thank you. So I'm creating chatbots and grading bots for teachers right now. So here's, I don't need it in code. I want it to be, make it a table. I can copy. So here you go, you see it anonymizes the data. It's giving a little bit, it's not going to give us much, but that's all we need. So there we go. Let's copy it. We're going to take this one out. This was just our little test sheet, and we're going to drop that one in. And then we're going to just download this again. Uh-oh, back up. Download this one more time as a PDF. Export it. There it pops in there. And so we will upload it here as the second one. Now it has that data set on there, and then you can create and then just ask it anything about the data. All right, so here we go. We're gonna just only me again because we're just testing this. Hey, thanks, Emilio. It'll be fine if there's haters or not, but I just want to try to help people use AI in education the best that they can. So that's all what this is about. All right, so now that we got this almost created, we're going to update it. We'll go back out to it. It's going to let us view it, And if you'll see, if you have your data in there, then I can just tell it, hey, give me a breakdown of the data. And so now it's going to extract that data. Here we go. Evaluates 10 students, gives you all the students here. There's all their numbers, anonymized of course, because you never want to put in anything in there. So here's the key performance, gives you the claim, and it breaks down for every student all of their weaknesses, breaks down every category. Then you could even drill down even further and say, give me a breakdown for each student. And so there it goes. Each student that you have in there is going to break down everything that they did for that particular assessment. However it was that you pulled that data, or whatever test assessment or whatever benchmark that you pulled off of it, doesn't matter. If you have it in Excel form, you could drop it in there, and as you can see, and you can take this even further if you got percentages and formulas, you know, where you're breaking down like your top 25, or you're breaking down, you know, even drill down to, you know, looking at item analysis where you're breaking down data with each item as an ELA teacher. It's really easy to be able to go through and just build these tools and then go through and drop everything in, and you have a very, very functional tool for data, for grading, for feedback. So that's kind of how it works in ChatGPT. So now we're going to flip and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it in Google Gemini, and we'll use ChatGPT as the builder this time, so you can see how the different LLMs operate. So on the left again you got ChatGPT, and on the right you have Google Gemini. We're going to open up Google Gems this time, and so when we're looking at Google Gems is almost exactly like GPTs and ChatGPT. You can go through and you can create them on your menu right here. You click, open it up, boom, there's your gems, and this is all your chats that you have, but above that you have gems, and you can hit the same thing, explore gems, and remember in ChatGPT it's almost exactly the same, explore GPTs. So very, very, very similar functionality within on the front end user of it. Anyway, very, very, very similar, even similar words and uses. They just call it gem versus a GPT. So here's the create gem, and just like you had in ChatGPT, you had the create. But you also, just like ChatGPT, you have a few like basic ones that are built. So the question about use Gemini or ChatGPT, if you're a student, the answer is really easy. Use Gemini because Gemini is free right now. If you're a student, as long as you have a .edu email address, you can have Google Gemini Advanced free for like the next 15 months. I think it's spring of 2026. So I would say use it right now. As far as how they perform, it depends on what you're doing. Like for educational means, I use both in tandem, ChatGPT and Google Gemini, and I switch between the models as well. And switching between the models, what it does for me is it allows me to assign a model for a specific tool. So if I'm doing something that's like coding, I'm going to use a reasoner model or a thinker model, because it's going to give me the ability to do those more complex tasks. If I'm just doing text generation or image generation, I'm going to pick just one of the faster models, or like the transformer models, so to speak, because you see them, the terminology was the transformer model, and then they have a reasoner model. So the transformer models would have been like the traditional ChatGPT 4.0, 4.1, and the reasoner model for ChatGPT would have been like 0.3 or 1. But with Google, they have kind of this hybrid model. So their 2.5 is a hybrid model where it's a transformer model and it's also a reasoner model. So, but it codes really, really well, especially web-based applications or web-based simulations. So does that answer your question? I would say depends on what you're doing, but for education, Google Gemini right now, with the newest updates, yeah, it's for the money. It's really, I use it. I'm finding myself using it more than using ChatGPT, but still use both of them daily, right? All right, so moving back to the ChatGPT or the gems. So we're creating this stuff for teachers, right? So you have a few pre-made that are already made by Google, and you can see I've made a couple here. They're basically just pre-made, but you can do the same thing for grading in Google Gemini as you can now. The builder menu is a lot smaller, so it's kind of drilled down a little bit. You can see a pretty big difference in the builder menu when you look to GPTs. Oh, back out on the Wolfram, the create here. So you got just a few more options to be able to do the building stuff, but you still have knowledge where you put anything that you need, and you have your instructions, and you have your name, and that's all you need. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to screenshot this. And remember, I screenshot the builder because instead of me having to explain what I'm wanting it to do, it's just very easy to screenshot it because it's multimodal. You drop in the picture, and then you can kind of tell it exactly what you want it to do, and you shouldn't have any kind of problem. With it, or at least I usually don't. So, let me go back into my ChatGPT because we're going to build in it. Just open up a new chat, and for this one I'm just going to use 4.1. I started using it the other day, so we're going to go ahead and go with it. And I'm again just going to drop in that screenshot that I took of the builder menu, and dropping in that screenshot, what it's going to do, it's multimodal, so it's going to pick up what I'm doing. And I'm just going to tell it, hey, I'm going to create a chatbot for Mississippi, for ELA, and this is going to be a grading bot, and it's going to grade papers, right? So I'll get it to go out and do all of that. So here we go. I'm going to dictate it because it's easier to just talk through some of these things sometimes. And ChatGPT, that's one feature I do like that ChatGPT has that Google Gemini doesn't. Once you upload a video in Google Gemini, you can't talk to it. Upload one in ChatGPT though, you can still dictate your voice. Let me allow while I'm visiting the site. Hey, I'd like to create a chatbot using this template to make a grading bot for Mississippi high school classes. So go out to the internet and find high school standards grade 9 through 12, and also attach or create a rubric that I can attach to this file. Make sure that the chatbot does not allow cheating. It does not allow the student to have any generated text. It simply gives graded feedback, and we want to do a number grade, right? So not just a rubric of needs improvement, it meets expectations. We want it to be an actual number grade. So it should be able to go through, transpose all of that. There you go. You see. And then I just drop the prompt in there. Then it's going to go through and it's going to build it. I'll move over where you can see. Oh, I hate when it does that. There we go. So here we go. Grades through 12. It gets everything. There's our rubric. So I can drop in the rubric. 100 points. Implementation. Technical tips. All right. So let's give it a name. I guess it did exactly what I wanted to do. Let's try it again. Let's try to drop that format in. Use this format. And so, there we go. High school, MS high school grading bot. So there we give it the name. And we give it the instructions. Very simple instructions. You must not do this. You must not do that. There's our grading rubric. We'll copy this into the knowledge. And since it's sample input, sample output, there's the references. And we're just going to go out and go create a Google Doc. And we're just going to drop this in. Once we drop it in, there we we go. That is our rubric, and we'll say rubric test. Now I'm just going to download this again, just where you can see me actually go back and use it within the bot. So there it gives me the bot. Now I'm going to add the knowledge, add the rubric to it. There it is. It says it's not saved right now, but it will be. There we go. Now it's saved. And then you'll be able to go in and actually start a chat with it. So there we go. We started a chat. Now we're going to tell ChatGPT, give me a few samples to grade. And so it'll make a few writing samples. Yeah, I would say you need to be using ChatGPT, or you need to be using some type of AI to study. It'll help you study. Go out and use Notebook LM. Right, Notebook LM won't cheat for you, but it'll allow you, and it's free, and it'll allow you to upload everything into that notebook, and you can do some. It has some digital tools, like it'll turn PDFs into podcasts that you can actually ask questions. It'll help you organize your notes. It'll mind map everything out. So yeah, try Notebook LM with Google. And it's, like I said, if you got a Google account, it's free to do that. So here we go. Here's our first sample. We give an argumentative submission, and I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to drop it over into the grading bot, and you'll see the grading bot's going to boom, boom. I'm unable to access content, the PDF you provided, therefore I cannot evaluate students' writing. So we see something didn't work on this one, right? It did not pick it up. So we'll go back to our Explore Gems, and we're going to go in and we're going to edit it. So we should have tried it here before. Let's see if it'll give us anything. And the tester. So test it first is always a good thing before it actually does anything. And it may actually work this time. Yeah, so it totally gave it to us this time. Awesome. So we'll go back into it, see if we can use it one more time. There we go. So there, it gave us the total, like that was, here is our submission right here. And in our submission, it broke down here in the rubric, right? Ideas and content, organization, and it graded every part of it based off of just that document that we dropped in there. Every part of it, right? Against the rubric, and gave you a composite score. Really cool, really easy technology to do. Like I said, the building of these is very, very, very simple. So the next thing that I wanted to show you, again, we're going to do one for this one that has some data in it. So now we're going to go back and create a gem that goes through and does data analytics and see how well it does it versus what we got with ChatGPT. So the same thing, create a, we'll talk to it because we can talk to ChatGPT. Hey, I want to create a chatbot now that's a data analytics tool. This is going to measure student data and then break it down like item analysis based off of state scores. So what I need for you is to go out and pull standards, and we're going to do this again for writing, so informational text for high school students within Mississippi. After you pull those standards and get the chatbot ready, I need you to create a mock data set and a large data set that's anonymized students, and it has their Mississippi MAP scores on it and Mississippi state testing scores on it. And remember, those are supposed to be mock, so don't pull any real data, just create mock data on that, and then we're going to finish out the bot. Sometimes for me it's easier to just say stuff into ChatGPT or say stuff. You're doing a live tomorrow after 3:30. Hopefully I'll be like, I'm trying to do them once a week. or twice. This one might be twice a week, but so it'll be later on in the week. Just really depends on when my schedule works out. But follow me, and I post all the clips and everything, and I post the full live on my YouTube page as well, so you can go back and catch it even if I'm not on there live. And just reach out to my email address, and that's thehourofai@gmail.com, and you can ask me any kind of question. So here we go. Here is our, oh, did it create it? Or did I miss it? Oh yeah. I must have missed the whole thing. Man, what? All right, create a chatbot that is a data analytics tool and measure it against for Mississippi grades 9 through 12 in informational text. Then after, create a large data set of student data and student testing data from state scores. Make sure it's anonymized. Hopefully it'll process that. There we go. All right, so there's our prompt. Here we go. It's going to give us our bot's purpose, all of that good stuff. Analytics bot, large data set, and it's creating the data set. So it'll be just a minute before it creates that. And again, I'm just going to use that same screenshot that I had, right? Same screenshot. Oh, that's the testing data. I'm going to use this screenshot here. Use the same screenshot to drop in and say, hey, use this template. And whenever it gets done, it'll create it. I'm going to copy all of this though. Actually, I can just copy it. It's not done generating yet, so there we go. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to pull this over and just utilize this one more time. Delete it, and remember, we're just dropping in this larger student data into here. Remember, it's anonymized. You never want to put any student data that is not anonymized in there. And so we tell it to use the template. We have the document. We're going to go ahead and download the document just where we'll have it, export it. That'll be our next document up here. And then we're going to go back and build the bot. So here's our bot, Infotext Analytics bot, or Mississippi Infotext Analytics bot. So there's the name of the gem. Here is the instructions, and I'll just copy all of it. Drop it in. Gives everything. If it's missing, right? Also, do not make up any data. If it is not there, ask me about it instead of generating it. I'll tell it that just because sometimes it'll try to generate stuff. And it says that again, do not generate a student, do not analyze or grade student content. Yeah, we're just creating an info bot. Then we're going to take that document that we put the student data in, this here, and we're going to drop it into knowledge, let it load. Now it should be good. And we're going to say, hey, break down this data. Break down our student data by item. And so here you go. You see I put this this data set in there. It's going to go through, analyze it, present the breakdown, and then create all of that, or generate all of that pretty quickly. Try to move some of this where you can actually see it work a little bit more. Yeah, so there we go. It looks like it's going to do it. All right, so let's go into it and play with it a little bit so you can see how this works if you're actually utilizing it for student data. And then we'll move on to creating one of these in Magic School. So same kind of way. Here we go. Give me a breakdown of my student scores. So here we go. It's going to look at the knowledge that it has that we uploaded, and it's going to go ahead and break all that data down for you. And you can break any kind of data like this down, and you can visualize it if you want to as well after you break it down. It just depends. So it's thinking, need to get relevant content. All right, parse the data, analyze it. So it's thinking right now, going through all the steps, breaking down the categories, doing everything that would take me to do if I was doing it myself. And it's going to do it in a lot longer. And I'm trying to keep it under an hour, so I got about 12 minutes left. So in about 12 minutes, I will be off. But I'll be back on later on this week. So like I said, thanks for the follow, and you can always follow my YouTube page as well. So here we go, received, and it gives me discrepancies, inconsistent data. So it kind of breaks down some problems that it has. Now, it needs a better format, so I'd have to go back and analyze this a little bit more, break this down a little bit more, so it's in a more manageable format for it. Can't really figure it out that well because it doesn't have all the rubric in order to break down the data. It doesn't know the scales or anything. So let's see if we can adjust that just a little bit. So edit it. Oh, it's trying to do something crazy there. That's why. Make sure it's the right one. It is. All right. Break down my scores by grade. See if it'll do that. Yeah, same name as a TikTok. Everything is the hour of AI. Same thing. So this is just the builder, and I'm going through tests and see if it'll actually break down, or I'm going to have to move this whole rubric. Oh, that's the rubric though. I need the test. Oh, that's the right one. Should be the right one anyway. Still thinking. You can see you need to get relevant. We're going to break down scores by grade level. I have the data from the PDF files. So breaking it down, grade level, total score. There we go. See how it's thinking, how it's going through and breaking down. So it seems to be working. There we go. And it gives me the breakdown. Where does it start? Score breakdown. Analysis is based off total scores for each student as provided in the document test rubric. Using this template, create a chatbot that grades. All right, so here we go. Highest averages, and you can export this out, but it gives you grade level, number of students, average composite score for each grade level. Now you can break that down even more if you wanted to, or depending on the amount of data that you have. So that shows ChatGPT, and it also shows Google Gemini. So the last one I'm going to do, I'm going to use Google Gemini just because I like using Google Gemini. Use Google Gemini and Magic School, and I'm going to create a chatbot, the same thing, a grading chatbot for Magic School. And if you get logged into Magic School, you can create a custom tool right here. So just click Create Custom Tool, Custom Chatbot. And then you have the builder menu again. Remember what I told you about builder menus with AI? They're multimodal. So just go through and give it the old screenshot. And then you just pull your screenshot over, drop it in. Okay, we want to build a feedback bot for 6th grade writing in Mississippi. It's going to look at the builder, and Google Gemini does this really well. Like the vision on Google Gemini to me is just better than what it is on ChatGPT. But like I said, I'm doing more educational stuff, so the educational things just tend to work better with Google Gemini. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller where we just see the bot over here and we see Gemini working. So there we go, building all of it. All right, got all that. There we go. And then I'm just going to tell it one more time to use the template that I provide. Uh-oh. Let me do this one more time. Drop it in, use this template. And then it should be able to look at it with computer vision. And then what we talked about in chat, all right, I'll use it. Here we go. Boom, there it is. So now we just go through after it stops working. Then we'll be able to copy this and just move it over. There we go, Mississippi 6th grade friendly AI assistant. Remember, this is an assistant for me, it's not for the students. And here's the plain text instructions. Drop those in. Knowledge. What knowledge do you have? You can attach any kind of knowledge that you want to on there. But I'm not going to put anything in there. So just want to show you how easy it is to do this. And there we go. Actually, let's make sure. Create a grading scale based off the standards for Mississippi. So that way, instead of it being just like making up its own thing, it's all aligned. And so it's going to be aligned to classrooms here in my state. And so there we go. Level 4 exceeds. All right, now add that in, add this in with the instructions. You'll see a lot of times I do stuff step by step. And I do that just in case I have to go back a step, because I end up having to go back a step all the time. So add this into the instructions. Now it should go through and put the rubric within the instructions, and I can just copy and paste that. And then I'll show you, get it to create a sample, and then we'll run the sample through it. There's the sample. Created it pretty quickly. Get to the end. There we go. There's the instructions for the chatbot. Then we drop those in. And then we hit next, and then we can test it. So now we're going to get it to generate 3 pieces, 3 different pieces of writing to test it. 1 good, 1 bad, 1 in between. So there we go. Now it's going to create the 3 pieces for me to be able to test my chatbot, and then we'll test it and see if it worked, which it more than likely is going to work. All right, so here we go. This one likely exceeds expectation, needs more support, and approaching or meets it. This one needs, let's try this one. We'll do piece 1 first, since it says needs more support, and just drop it in. Student drops it in, and oh, that's my custom instructions. I don't need custom instructions. Or do I? Or do I? I forgot about this. We'll just do next and see if it works. Alright, so there we go. Oh, and another thing about this one is you can actually hide this from the students. Right, so if you click the eyes right there, you'll see when the student gets there, it doesn't have anything. So the one thing you do want to give them, no, you don't want to give them anything. You just hit generate. There we go. Hit next, generate. It's going to ask them, should ask them for their writing, or should ask for the writing. Writing code specifically 6th grade students to improve when students share their writing. All right, so now we're going to share the writing. There we go. So, oh, this one was the feedback tool I created instead of a grading tool. No, it should be a grading tool. This one just gives feedback. See, can you grade it? Grade it. See if it'll grade it. That was maybe my problem. Should not assign grades to student work. Instead, I can, oh, okay, so let's change this. In the instructions, assign grade to student work, and then give them feedback. So we'll go through, change it a little bit, make sure it works like we want it to. There we go, gives the caveats, important considerations, all of that good stuff. And then we're going to go back and sorry, I was checking my line. Okay, all right, here we go. Plain text, does it get all of it yet? It's still copying it. There we go. Copy. Now let's try it and see. Maybe it'll work this time. I'm gonna again give it the writing. There's writing, and it tells the student everything that they need to know, or tells me everything I need to know, or the student everything I need to know. Give it there, boom, type of writing. All right, development's good, review it. Writing, all right, language conventions, grammar, mechanics, conclusions. Your teacher will provide the grade. So it's just giving you, I guess if I gave it a rubric it might. So I have to do a little bit of punting on this one to see exactly how it works, right? But you could definitely do an easy feedback tool with it. So yeah, there's custom chatbots with ChatGPT, custom chatbots with Google Gemini, and custom chatbot with Magic School AI, all in under an hour. And so thank you for joining us, and I'll be back with you hopefully sometime this week for the next episode. And kind of if you have something that you want me to look at, study tool or anything like that, to help students, or if you're a teacher looking to make new lessons, reach out to me and ask me to demo something. I'd love to be able to build and demo this live, so you can see my process and my mind as an educator. So thanks for joining the Hour of AI. I'm Kyle. Make sure you subscribe and share any of these videos that you see. If you find them useful, leave a comment below, and I'll catch you later.